Good morning, folks. How's it going? Hopefully I'm not yelling too loud next to a highway, but also next to a lake. So this is a Pelican Bass Raider Rhino edition, I believe. Everything seems to point to it being a Rhino edition. I got the serial number. I've never checked it though. I'll do another video on the boat at a later time because I've not finished it. As you can see, I've got some stuff set up on it, but anyways, so I wanted to do a video about my dolly because I see everybody making some rather heavy dollies. You don't really necessarily need to do that. So what I've got here is climber's rope, a block, which just helps keep things in place up front, a folding jogger stroller, like sports stroller, that I've removed most of the frame from, and then I put a bar here to help it lift. This box might not be available everywhere. This is a Cormark box. That's a company here in Canada. It might be in the States as well, but basically this is a lockable tote. You could find something similar, but I find these have a fairly good strength to them, so I like them a lot. So that just comes off with the bungee cord like that. And then I've got my my everything pretty much, you know, anchor, bailing cup. I've yet to find the right size bucket, but anyway, so pretty simple stuff, and it really weighs nothing, virtually nothing. I can load and unload the boat myself off of that top rack there, and I don't need any special trick to do it, you know, like I just stand it up and lift and push and it gets on. Loading from the side's easier, but anyways, point being is even with all that loaded, I can still load the boat. I'm 43, I've been active most of my life. If I was really tired or injured, I don't know if I could do that. So I don't know if that's something that everybody could necessarily rely on. But even just, you know, the repetitive in and out of the truck, this weighs, you know, without the bag in it, it weighs probably about 4 pounds. With the stroller piece on it, it probably gets close to 8 pounds, maybe 10 pounds. So basically what happens here is, you see there's 2 grooves in here, and that axle just kind of sits nice in there. Then you want to stop some of the forward motion. So I just use a little bungee cord, hook it in like so. So now we're basically, like, it can still, it's not super solid. If you wanted this to be a lot more solid, you need a second bungee cord, maybe a third even. Okay, so when you have this set up right, see that cord on the bar lifts it. So you know what the bottom of the boat looks like. Basically these are cut to fit into the grooves between the ribs, or into the shallows between the ribs or whatever. And then I just rounded them out a little bit so it wouldn't create too many wear points. And secured with deck screws and washers through the bottom. So loading this is pretty easy. You lay the boat flat, pick up the front end, and then use one foot to kick it under. And once it's under there, it's probably not going to be in the right place, but it's easy enough to get under the boat at that point and just kind of like inch it into the position you want. Now what I did on the block here, it's kind of hard to see, but underneath the boat there's a flat spot right under the bow where this sits. What I did was use a keeper like this so I can actually adjust it, because depending on how you have your boat loaded, it's going to be balanced differently. I've hauled elk out on this trailer, and deer and whatever, but they're fairly solid. The shorter the axle span, the stronger it is, but the less stable, right? So I've kind of gone, see if I can give you an idea of the axle span here. So yeah, my axle span is almost exactly the same as my floor. So I mean, in theory that should be relatively stable, and it is. But for example, I could, I'm at risk of a ticket here somewhat, depends who's patrolling and stuff, but some people interpret this as illegal, being parked here. There's a parking spot across the road that is legal, but because this is not quite so stable, I'm finding that if I get onto like 20-30 degree angles, it starts to tip. Really busy tourist day in the valley, so I don't want to be tipping the boat as I'm trying to come up over the berm. So I just parked down here. So anyway, if you have a wider axle base, then that'll work fine. And you can build these axles for nothing, right? It's just a tube with a plastic insert. So yeah, there you go. I'll do a video on the boat when I'm done with it, all right? Have a great day.